President Biden is promising help for Haiti after the nation's devastating earthquake.
The death toll from Saturday's powerful quake is nearing 2,000. Fox 46's chief transportation correspondent, Hawker Vanguard, is the only Charlotte reporter in Haiti following North Carolina relief workers in that country.
He now joins us again live from Haiti. And Hawker, we know that the epicenter of the quake, more on the southern western part. How do those people there, how do they get to doctors when they're on different parts of the island?
The only way people who need trauma care getting to this part of the island, the only way they can get here is by medical helicopter or other means of transportation by air. Many people are seen there in Lakai on that part of the island when there are smaller wounds to be cared for, but there aren't that many of them. There are either people who escaped with no injury or they have received traumatic injuries to their body, mostly head injuries, crush injuries, and internal bleeding, things that require CAT scans and sonograms to be performed. And yesterday we were able to see the entire process from when we were at the airport to going to a hospital, and it's quite the journey. It starts with being offloaded from a Coast Guard helicopter. That helicopter transports a lot of people, and every single day. You can see here on this video we shot yesterday that it is just absolutely a hair-raising trip to begin with in the windy conditions. It was a sight to see. People are brought off that aircraft. They are put onto an ambulance that's brought across town. And even though the airport is not that far from the city center, it still takes upwards of 30 minutes because of how traffic is. You can imagine here in Haiti to get nearly everywhere.
Well, and Hawker, we're looking at this video that you all shot yesterday, and these hospital beds are just on top of each other, almost packing patients in. Did you see people outside the hospital trying to get in or just wanting some time with the doctor?
There weren't very many walking wounded, as we'd call it, in disaster relief. No walking wounded. There are only people who were brought in by ambulance, and as you might believe it, there are not that many ambulances here on the island. So there was a gentleman we saw brought in on a backboard just in the back of a Nissan SUV. People are volunteering their own cars. They're going to the airport and they're offering up help to their brothers and sisters from the other side of the island, bringing them in. And the video you're seeing coming out of here from the emergency medical department, that is the best case scenario. And if that looks Spartan to you, there are other parts of the hospital that we haven't been able to show you yet that are hair-raising. And the care that these people are getting at this specific hospital, the Bernard Mevs Medical Center, it's the best that they have to offer in Haiti. So if you can imagine anything less than that, that is what the typical Haitian would have to receive medical care through.
Hawker, one of the things we haven't really talked about very much is just the other issues Haitians are dealing with besides the weather, besides the earthquake, the safety. I mean, there are gangs everywhere that are stealing the things that people need so desperately right now. You got political violence going on. How does that play into all of this?
It's made for many complications for Haitian people and disaster relief officials. Yesterday I was speaking with the United States Embassy out at the airport, and they were explaining to me the type of lengths they have to go to make sure that cargo that's brought from the Dominican Republic next door, from the United States, all of the nations around here providing help goes to the right people. As we saw in the 2010 quake as well, there was a major issue with resources, money, humanitarian aid not going to the right people in the right place. Organizations like Samaritan's Purse, based in North Carolina, they are an organization you would like to probably donate to because you know that dollar is going to go to the right place and it's going to go straight to supplies flown down from Greensboro and taken by Samaritan's Purse by hand to the people of Lakai.
And Hawker, your trip is coming to an end today, but our coverage does not end there. You were just telling us in the break, you all have gathered enough material for almost a week's worth of stories, and those are stories that continue to need to be told.
That's right, and getting back stateside is something we're planning to do this afternoon, but with us we're bringing hours of footage, many sound bites from people who just need help and those telling their story of life here on the island. And I'll tell you a few of those stories we have is what it's like to drive on the streets here and navigate just everyday life, trying to get from point A to point B. We're going to talk about COVID in Haiti and how that disease has just ripped through this island nation, already devastated by so many things. We're going to talk about so many things, and we cannot wait to share them with you, hopefully sooner rather than later, guys.